light get to it. You can't let the air get to it. I am dry aging. I'm dry aging. I am dry aging. Beef. Beef is dry aging.
Well, that was fun, wasn't it? How about that? What do you think this could be? A Zadelic juice grenade. There it is. For this, and then let's talk about what we've learned in the first 2 weeks of dry aging beef. Beautiful. I love it now that the stash is getting a little thicker. And watch this. You get a little second sip on your beer. That's fantastic. Okay, so what have I learned in the first 2 weeks of dry aging beef? First, the people at steakager are some of the most genuine and responsive and kind people that I've ever dealt with or worked with. They respond to every single one of my emails and questions within hours, most of the time within minutes of me sending an email to them, asking them a question about the app or the beef, or did I do this right, or did I do this right, yada, yada, yada. And they're so responsive and so helpful. They just want you to age your beef to perfection every time. And from what I can gather, they'll help you do it as much as they possibly can. So kudos to them, and thank you for them for all the help they've given me in these first 2 weeks of doing this. So what have I learned from the process, the beginning? So we made some mistakes in the beginning. Rather, I made a mistake in the beginning. We slid a piece of Tupperware underneath the big strip loin, and we hung it on hooks, which is a 20-pound strip loin. So we probably shouldn't have hung it on the hooks, because it could tear right up and then it would fall and yada yada, which is another reason we use the Tupperware. But then the biggest thing with dry aging beef is air circulation and constant air temperature and humidity and all that jazz. We'll go into more in depth in another episode coming up very soon. But so we moved that Tupperware out from underneath, and we took the hooks out. When I say we, I mean me. I took the hooks out of the steak and put it into the patented rack that comes with it, and then tied it up. Really neat thing about that rack is that the sections are spaced so that when your meat kind of grows into it a little bit, it doesn't grow into it, but it'll kind of form to that rack, and that's where you cut your steaks. So that's pretty neat. Another thing is I've learned about their app, and that's going to be a whole separate episode showing you the app and exporting data. You can export your data from your app, which keeps, a record of your temperature, your humidity, and the days, how many days your beef has been aging. Another cool thing about the app is you can connect it to Wi-Fi, and then, like, say you're on a plane or you're talking to your neighbors, and you're like, hey, check out my meat. Let me show you my meat. Wait, let's try that again. We don't want to show our neighbors our meat. If you want to show some, you just can't show your meat to everybody, I guess, could you? I guess you can. If you wanted to show your meat to everybody you want to, you can show them how your meat is aging in the app. And so no matter where you are, you could check in on your app and make sure that your steakager is performing the way it's supposed to, the temperatures of what it's supposed to be, and the humidities, everything's going copacetic with your beef as it's aging. So that's pretty cool. So another thing is we at first set it to 37 degrees, but after speaking with them, they said optimal temperature is 40. So I reset it to 40 degrees. And probably one of the biggest things is I had originally put my steakager in the garage. My kegerator sits in the garage, and my kegerator's been great for years in the garage. So I figured it would be, somewhat the same. Well, no. So you want that in a much more temperature controlled area. So we moved the steakager from my garage to the basement, and the basement in my house is temperature controlled, so no problems there. And ever since I moved everything down there and changed the beef into the rack, it's been going great. So I hope some of this information helps you. But biggest thing is, if you have questions, just ask them. There are not many companies out there left today that are responsive and willing to help you do everything you can do with your steak ager and for dry aging your meat. Stay with me through this process. I'm going to do another video on the app and another video on the racks coming up soon, and then the final video. Well, not the final, but the finale of the strip loin episode, which that will come out very soon, so just in a couple weeks. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button, and check out the steakager. There's a ton of people on YouTube, a ton of people on social media using the steakager. Go check them out. Make sure you check out my boy Polish Q. He's rocking some crazy stuff in his steakager. He's doing pork, bacon. He sent me a picture. It had like his entire fridge was packed with meat, all in the racks. It was just a beautiful picture. Yeah, good stuff. So make sure you stay tuned for more steakager content. Cheers.